Fast-moving developments in Washington setting the stage for the next election cycle, specifically with eyes on the 2024 presidential race. Joining me now is political analyst Basil Smikle. So, Basil, good to have you back here on Picks and Politics.
Always good to be with you. Thank you.
Now, I know we spoke earlier this week on Picks and Morning News. So much has changed, right? You blink and everything's different. First, let's talk about Democratic leadership in the House. Now that Nancy Pelosi has stepped down, Brooklyn Congressman Hakeem Jeffries launching his own bid to be the party's next leader. Does he actually have a shot at the job, considering, Basil, what exactly really played out in New York with some of these blue seats flipping red?
You know, he does have a great shot at the job, in part because Pelosi's number two, Steny Hoyer, already made the decision to not challenge for the leadership. The other person that we were looking at was member of Congress, Jim Clyburn from South Carolina. People may remember Jim Clyburn, African-American, who has a tremendous amount of sway over the votes in South Carolina and was principal in elevating Joe Biden at a very crucial moment in his primary. There was a thought that he would challenge it. He has said that he would not. So essentially, the three of them, Pelosi, Clyburn, and Hoyer, have cleared the way for Hakeem to be the next minority leader and potentially speaker down the road. He still has to campaign for the job, but it's almost his to lose. That said, I don't know that he'll spend that much time looking at New York state politics. There's a whole party infrastructure that is supposed to do that. But certainly, I would imagine the party wants to make sure that he looks good when he goes to D.C.
Yeah. Well, there's names also floated around like Adam Schiff, that Adam Schiff might want the job as well. But what does it say for New York then, right? You have Chuck Schumer, who will be the majority leader for the Senate, and then Hakeem Jeffries from Brooklyn, two New Yorkers.
Right. First of all, hats off to Brooklyn, because they also have a mayor, a public advocate, a controller, and an attorney general. So they're doing pretty well over there. But it says a lot about, you know, the opportunity for New York City and New York State to have a lot of power in Washington. In many ways, we generally don't. National leaders come to the state to basically raise money, but not much else. But it's a tremendous amount of power that we can wield in D.C. And we hope that the hope is that brings resources, support, infrastructure, all of that to New York City and to New York State.
Yeah, so let's talk about the other big announcement this week, and that was former President Donald Trump announcing his third bid now for president. His advisors, his party, his own family saying, don't do it. So what do you make? Don't do it yet. What do you make of the timing?
Timing's really important for Donald Trump, because what he can do in the short term is manage the conversation on the Republican side. Anybody that challenges him, if it's Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, whomever, will have to essentially be running uphill while he, you know, stakes out the position across the country with the Republican Party and ensuring his support among his core supporters more specifically. So the timing here is important, because then everybody has to sort of respond to him. And if you look at the interviews with DeSantis and Pence recently, they're all going to be asked about and have been asked about what they feel about Donald Trump. So that's the position he wants to be in. The party now has to figure out how, if it wants to, how it creates distance between him and the primary electorate.
Yeah, so how likely is it that the party is going to throw their support behind either Donald Trump or another 2024 contender like Ron DeSantis or Mike Pence, who seemingly are going to be announcing the way that they're acting?
Right. Yeah, the concern for a lot of that party leadership is that they want to be able to align themselves with Trump policies and his supporters without actually embracing the man. It's incredibly difficult to do, given who he is, because he's going to force you to engage him. The question is, can these other candidates really find a way to cobble up the kind of support around the country that, without Trump supporters, is without really embracing them heavily? That remains to be seen, given the way this midterm was able to shake out. There's real concern on the Republican side about the negativity of their campaigns, the quality of their candidates. So they've got some repairs to do before they really can mount any successful race with each other, and then against the Democrat in the general, presumably Joe Biden.
Right. So I want to talk to you about Republicans. They managed to regain majority control of the House, right? And we spoke about this a little bit earlier in the week when I spoke to you. But what can we expect to see on the Republican Party's agenda when they take over the chamber in January? What's number one on the agenda for them?
You know, it's interesting because the majority that they have is relatively slim because, as you have earlier noted, there wasn't a massive red wave. But one of the things that they've often talked about is oversight. And what are the things that we might look to is Republicans using their majority to conduct hearings against Joe Biden and against the Biden administration. I don't think America has the stomach for that right now. I just want to move on. But they have announced that they want to really do that early on. They've also had conversations about privatizing Social Security. There's been a lot of talk about what they would do, but the issue with the slim majority that they have, can they effectively do it? That's what we're going to be looking for.
Understood. All right, a lot going on in politics. Basil, good to talk to you as always. Have a great Thanksgiving. Okay.
Thank you as well.